Good morning, Kabroda crew, and welcome back to our live stream. Hopefully, y'all had a good weekend and a good Monday. Had a good bit of movement yesterday. Well, I guess kind of Sunday night into yesterday. So, if y'all got into any of those moves, nice job. I know we talked about them on our recap. So, if you guys are interested in hearing a little bit more about those, got those in our recap. I think we talked about both. Both this move here on Sunday into Monday morning, and then also this move here on Monday into, well, I guess really just kind of Monday. Almost into Tuesday, but not quite. But yeah, we're back above that 4-hour 200, so the chart is looking decent as of right now, at least for the 4-hour. But we'll kind of go through and have the battle box break it down. But yeah, good morning to everybody that's here. See Spirit Maker and Terry are here. So thanks for joining this stream. Yeah, we'll just go over the battle box today, kind of set it up, and just kind of hang out. So yeah, just jump into it. I'm gonna head on over to GPT actually, our battle box GPT. There should be a link in the description if you're interested in checking it out for yourself. But basically, we're just going to get that daily recap rolling, which should just take our main screenshots here, which is the 1 hour, 15, and the 5 minute. So we'll grab those, and then after that, we'll get those levels and stuff. Sorry about that. Had somebody come in. Where was I? So yeah, we'll get those screenshots, get that FRPP levels, 30-minute, all that good stuff. But yeah, start off with our screenshots. So the easiest way to do this, and well, the easiest way to do this is if you do have that quad view, you can just take a nice screenshot of all that. But what we'll do is we're just going to go through the different time frames and take a screenshot of each one, one by one, and then we'll just paste it right here into our GPT. So we got our 4-hour now. We got to go to our 1 hour, and I just auto all of these all of my indicators, and then also my chart. That way, they all are in a pretty good position for the screenshot, so the AI can read it nice and easily. Then I'll just screenshot all of these. If you don't know how to screenshot on Windows, it's just Windows key Shift and then S, so it's nice and easy. That's all 4 screenshots. We got those in there. I'm going to go grab the news for today. So you won't see this on screen, but if you head to cryptocraft.com, you can go to today's date on there, and then you can just grab the news events. All you have to do is really just screenshot the little graph they give you of the news. So I'll kind of show you all what it looks like, but it should just look like this. So you can see today we got some at 12:30 a.m. We got a press conference, just medium impact, and then at 7:50 we got another one with some president speaking. At 9 a.m. there's actually something a little more interesting. We got a medium impact JOLTS job opening. So that could affect the market a little bit. You can see it's orange, which is like the mid-range between yellow and red. So red's going to be your high impact, and yellow will be your medium, really low impact. So if it's yellow, you'd don't really have to worry about it. Red or orange is red being the most, and then orange obviously being something you kind of watch out for. And then we actually got Trump speaking at 10, which shouldn't really do anything to the market unless he says something about the market, and then we could have some problems. So even though that one is yellow, that could be something to, I guess, be mindful of, at least as we're possibly taking some trades. So we got our 4 screenshots in there, and then our news event. So the next thing that we're going to do is get the FRVP levels, and the easiest way to do that is type FRVP levels right here. And then what I like to do is type 24-hour, and I'll put all 3 of them. So volume area high, and then POC, and then volume area low. And then I'll say morning and do the same 3 levels. So that way I have all 6 of our levels that we're going to get on here. And you can even put an extra space in between the FRVP levels and the 24-hour volume or 24-hour FRVP levels. That way it's just nice and easy to read. I don't think ChatGPT really cares, but it just makes it easier to read if you're going to go read it again. And then if you want, you can go ahead and already type the 30-minute candle on here. And we'll say high, and then low. And that way when we need to get those, we can just paste them in there. Or I guess really type them, can't really paste them. Alright, so let's go get our 24-hour FRVP levels first. So head into trade view again. Well, the easiest way to do this is on the 1 hour, and then you just go from the crosshairs down 4. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Click over, go to fixed range line profile, and then we're gonna start at 7 o'clock yesterday. So yesterday is Monday, so we'll go to 7, and then go to 7 today. And then this is going to be our 24-hour levels, so we'll turn those back on, move them up, boom, boom, nice and easy. And then we're going to zoom in a little bit, make sure they're kind of lined up. If you've been watching us before, you know that when we say that these are all just kind of zones, so even if you don't get them lined up exactly perfect on where they are on the actual levels, they'll still be in the right zone, so they're going to be a good reference point anyways. The main thing is just you kind of want to have them mostly lined up. Like, you don't obviously want it like that or like that. Like, you want it to be covering the red, but if it's something like that where you can kind of see the red there, I'm not sure how well, I guess you could see it on your screen, but there's a little bit of red sticking out at the bottom. Even though you can still see a little bit of red, it doesn't matter that much. As long as you get the lines generally lined up with the FRVP lines, then you'll be fine. Then what we'll do is you can just go to settings and copy the levels, and then you can go back to ChatGPT and just paste it right where we gave it space for. So that was the volume area high, and then we'll do the POC next. So same scenario here, just grab it, settings, copy, and then paste it in our GPT. And we'll just go through and do that for all of them, or for the last one, I guess, real fast. Nice and easy. And then the mornings are going to be more or less the same. I'll just do those real fast. The only thing is for FRVP, we'll move it from 7 to 3. Same thing, lined up, semi. good. Just go to settings, copy this sim, and we'll paste them in the corresponding area on our GPT. Just like that. And you can just do the same thing for all three of them, just like we did for the other ones. And one nice thing is once you've done it once, you can just go through and click copy. Like if you click on this one per se and click settings, you can just copy it right here. Like you don't even have to highlight it or anything. Just press Control C, or you can click on it and say copy, I guess. But that will work after you've done the first line and got to coordinates and highlighted it. Every time it will be highlighted when you open it, so you can just copy it. Makes it nice and easy. And once we get done with that, we can just go ahead and delete our FRVP because we won't need it anymore. And I'm going to turn off my lines so they don't get confusing. And then we're going to get that 30-minute candle next. So head to the 30-minute. 7:30 is the candle we want. And then we're just going to get the high and the low. So if you don't know where that is, it's going to be right under where my screen says Kabroda at the top. So right under there, there'll be an H and an L with some numbers next to them. The H is going to be your high at 113,200 today. So we'll just go back to here and type it in. So 113,200. And then we'll do the same thing for the low. So hover over it again. The low is going to be 112,933. 112,933. And if you want, you can put commas in here. But ChatGPT really could care less, so it's more for you. And then the last thing you can do is you can put that weekly FRVP in. We won't talk about it in here, but we do have some other videos covering it for the live stream. We'll just keep it nice and simple. That is optional, but it is. I mean, it is better. It'll give you more refined results if you give it to it, but for me, I'm just going to keep it just how it is here. And we'll just send it in and see what ChatGPT has to say about today, what our battle box has to say. Alright, so as you can see, the first section is going to be on the different time frames, so we'll go through each time frame and kind of break them down, starting with the 4-hour and moving our way down to the 5-minute. So I'll head over there, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read what GPT has to say for today, and then we'll go ahead and we'll actually break it down and kind of see what other TA might be in here. So basically what the GPT has to say for today, price rejected off 115.6 wick shelf and is retracing toward the cluster around 112.5. Momentum indicators show MACD histogram fading and RSI rolling off overbought. Structure is corrective. Pull back inside the prior breakout lag. Okay. So you can see we came up wicked that it said 115.6. It was really more like 114.6. Sometimes the screenshots it has a hard time grabbing like exactly where this is on the chart, but you can tell it wicked about to 114.6 here, and then we broke down after that, hit about 112.500, so that one was a little closer. 112.500 is about that 200, so you can see we wicked down here, kind of hit it, and then started to bounce back up, really just sideways though for right now. After that, it says that the MACD excuse me, the MACD is kind of rolling over here. So you can see we got a nice little run on our MACD, and now we're starting to lose some of that momentum. The blue line starting to come down to the orange. Our RSI is kind of the same scenario. We did get into that overbought area. Now we're breaking down. The faster moving average has crossed the slower one, which is normally a pretty bearish sign. And we are in the top section, which is typically the overbought area. Truly overbought, you're gonna have to be up like this, where you can see there's kind of like a little highlight under it. But this is still technically above, anything above 50 is overbought, anything below is oversold. And then when you get like way out here, that's when it's like, okay, yeah, now it's for sure oversold and we're about to go the other way. But yeah, for now, that's looking a little bearish. This is looking bearish. So's same with Stoches, kind of there in the overbought area. They're starting to break down. Nothing to worry about really, because you know, with the Stoches, they're kind of either way. I mean, what am I saying? They're not relevant on the higher time frames like the 4 hour or the 1 hour even. Other than that, I could see. To me, it looks like we're maybe making a possible large head and shoulders, with the neckline kind of being something like this. So maybe a possible breakdown here, kind of hit that 21, break back through, and we'll see a breakout from the neckline. That's possible. Again, if you've seen our stuff before, we're not. If patterns line up with the rest of the TA, then that's great. And that's what we're kind of looking for, but we're not specifically just pattern traders. So seeing the pattern is great, but I mean, anybody could see any kind of pattern on here. I mean, you could be looking at this right here and being like, oh, well, we're making a nice flag pattern here, and so we're going to break out. So if you take, I guess it'd be from here, if you take this nice pattern, oh, we're going to go up to 115.6, but it's really either way. And well, actually, I would say to me, it looks more like we're going to break down, maybe turn around. So yes, for now that Head and Shoulders does line up with our TA a little bit more. Looks like the line in the sand today is 112.500. Again, back to testing that support level. So yeah, I agree. We got that 112.500 level right there at the 200 on the 4 hour, which is actually, well, where is our, I turn it on. There we go. It's actually pretty close to our volume area low. So if you get that breakdown, if you've been here before, I guess you know how we trade. That's exactly what we're looking for, is that breakdown of here. And for me today, I'd almost be waiting for it to get that breakdown below that 112.500 area, and then the retest, and that's where we'd be looking at taking that down trade. Yeah, overall 4 hour looking at a little bearish. Moving to the 1 hour. What the battle box has to say about it is we got the sharp rejection from 113K to 113.2 zone, with the EMAs beginning to flatten. MACD is turning negative and RSI is sub negative 50. Suggested short-term downside pressure. Key recessed is near 112 8K shelf. So we got our breakdown from the volume area high here, as you can see, just like on the longer time frames. This is really just a zoom in from the longer time frames. So a lot of the TAs is kind of similar between the two, well, all of the different time frames, but each one kind of shows you a little bit more. So like 4 hour, you're looking on like a wider scope, and then as you kind of like lower the time frames, you're kind of zooming in more and more. Yeah, it is funny that's right there on the 4 hour 200 syrup maker. You're just saying that the 4-hour 200 is right around 112, 500. That's exactly. That's funny because it is like right there in that resistance. Good zone actually. He's saying that the 1 hour sitting in bearish div. Yeah, yeah, we are. So, I'll show you guys that in a second. Yeah, we could go over that now actually. So you can see right here we got this uptrend right in our chart. So we got a bounce here. We kind of made a little flag and then we broke up higher and we made a higher low. But if you go down to the RSI on the same points, which would be right here and right here, you can see we have the opposite happening. So on the chart, we have a nice up run, and then on the RSI, we have a nice down run, which tells us that we have some div. So if it's on the bottom like this, that means it's bearish. If we got it on the top, then it's bullish. Oh no, wait. Oh yeah, it's opposite. Bearish div. Interesting. So yeah, we have some bullish div here. But Spirit Maker's also right. We do have some bearish div as well. So you can see on the top we have this nice down run, whereas on the top of the chart here we actually have a nice up run. So it's actually really kind of negating each other out. This should be a little extended. Yep, just like that. So depending on where this goes, if we get a higher high here, we're getting even more bearish div. But we're kind of have both right now, so they're kind of going either way. So it is interesting though. It's something to be kind of looking at. But yeah, we do have both. So right now it doesn't really mean anything because they kind of cancel each other out. We'll have to kind of be watching that though. We got no real patterns on this chart time frame. You can see the MACD is starting to curl back up, so possible a little bit of an up run here. But we could also break down just as easily. RSI is also curling on the faster moving average, but that slower moving average is continuing down. So more than likely, the faster will kind of break up a little bit more and maybe smack right into this slower at the yellow one, and we'll break down again, or we'll see a little breakthrough and then break down. At least on RSI. So not looking too much like we'll get more of a breakup. I'm thinking maybe like, I don't know, not a lot. Like honestly, I'm thinking this is probably like a little flag here, something like that. We'll get maybe some more like up a little bit and then boom, break down. Get something, maybe break down below that 112k level. Looking at 111.6-ish area. That's my thoughts at least. So yeah, heading to the 15. So on the 15, the battle box is saying we got a downtrend sequence intact from 113.8k high. Lower highs are forming and RSI is trending under the 40. MACD is still negative and price is pressuring against the 200 EMA support. Structure compression towards breakdown. Okay. So we got that downtrend here. We are seeing the same kind of pattern, a little bit of a, I forget what that's called, but it's a wedge essentially. I think it's just called a bearish wedge. So essentially we got this drop here, right? And then now we're making this kind of wedge flag that we were just talking about earlier. And as you kind of see, we just break around in it, and then typically these break to the downsides about 60% of the time. So we're looking for a more of a downtrend there, at least based off that pattern. Going down, we can see that We were starting to actually curl over on our uptrend here, but this one candle is kind of bringing us back. So we'll kind of see where that takes us. But for now, we could kind of go either way on the MACD. Right now, it's looking like it might fire again and take us up a little bit more. RSI is actually showing the same kind of thing. So you can see we got this curl cup on the slower moving average, the yellow. We got a nice cup. And then on the slower one, or the faster one, sorry, we got a break up, and we're starting to break up even farther. So we'll see. We might get a little bit of an up run here. Stoches, which are more relevant on this chart, are topped out, and we're seeing curl down. So indicators are kind of either way. RSI is saying we go up. Typically, that's like a little more. That's a little more meaning, I guess. So something to kind of watch out for, I guess. Kind of weird that Stoches are disagreeing with this with the RSI, at least for right now. So we'll kind of see what we get. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of that uptrend, kind of like we were talking about. Get a little bit more of that nice flag happening, and then a breakdown. So heading to that 5-minute, we got a local bounce attempts failing. Repeated rejections at 113.0k to 113.2k. Micro shelf there. RSI cycling oversold to weak bounces. Volume is thinning and suggesting execution requires caution. So, got that local bounce attempt here at that 113.113.2. So kind of this breakdown here, kind of got the bounce on the POC right here. Kind of been bouncing on it really twice, and then now we're kind of running up, seeing if we can break that volume area high for today. The indicators are showing we actually just fired on the MACD, so that's good for an up run, or a little bit of an up run. You got RSI kind of showing the same thing. We're getting a little bit of a breakup. The line was, the slower moving average was kind of breaking up, and now we're kind of getting that cup under the faster moving average, so possible continuation of this up run. We actually did just break that volume area high and closed on the 15-minute, so not a super nice one, but possible, I guess, trade to the upside here. But again, I'm leaning more towards the downside, so possible trade to the upside here, but we'll see what we're kind of looking at. We can only trade the TA, right? You got Stoches are kind of getting to that topped out point. So you can see we're kind of breaking up, and we're getting close to that overbought or oversold, or no, overbought, overbought area. So once we get up here and we're seeing that overbought, we might see the price turn around and break back down. So yeah, overall, I would say we're still looking more bearish. Maybe looking like we might get a little bit more of an uptrend, but I would say more bearish. But again, we can only really trade what the chart kind of tells us to trade. So if we are going to go up, we'll kind of be watching for those signs as well. But I think the charts are leaning a little more towards bearish. But like Spirit Maker said, there's kind of a little battle of going on of the different time frames are kind of showing different things. So we'll see which one's going to win. I guess bulls or bears. Heading back to the chat GPT, you can see we got our different key levels of support, different strategy outlooks we can take. And we'll take a look at those in a sec, because we're going to make that battle plan. And then we got the different news events. If you remember from the screenshot, only one of them was really high. So just a quick word of caution, I guess, is make sure you're watching for that, because it has a hard time reading the difference between yellow, red, or yellow, orange, and red. So it'll most likely say most of them are high, even though they might not be. And then you got those YAML levels. So if you're interested in just copying those over, go ahead. These will be all the levels from our live stream will be posted on X after about 30 minutes after the stream. So if you're interested in getting those levels, just make sure you check that. And there should be a link to our X account in the description, so check that out. Spirit Maker's saying his go-to is 4 hour right now, which is probably a good one since the all the levels are kind of lining up with the 4 hour right now. So let's just build a battle plan. We'll see what the DVT, and we actually just got that breakdown on the chart, so we're no longer really looking at that up trade unless we get more of a retrace back. Alright, so the different trades, we get that long breakout, kind of what we were talking about. We break that morning volume area high, get that 15-minute close, and then really that back test is what we're looking at. So like right now we just got that 15-minute close, but we didn't get the back test. We'll be looking at 14,000 will be our first level, so that's going to be at that POC up here, the 24-hour POC, and then our volume area high. It's going to be, it's going to be our second target. If we get another close below 13,000, so below that volume area high or 24-hour volume area low, then we'll be looking at getting out of that trade quickly. Moving on, we got the short. So the short's kind of the opposite scenario. So if we get that breakdown, like we were talking about, looking for that breakdown about 24. It says 24.6, which is where the volume area low is, but I would be looking more for that 24.5 area that Spirit Maker and me have been talking about, especially because that 4 hour 200 is right there. So we'll get that break of the 4 hour 200 at 112.5, and then you get that retest. That's kind of what we're looking for to break down. It's actually saying that's one of the targets. I would say that's probably a better place to enter. And then 111.5 is the first target, it says, which is going to be, going to be down kind of in this resistance area right here. So if you continue, we get that breakdown here, we'll see a level down here somewhere. So something to be watching out for, 111.5, 111.6 kind of area. That's kind of our first target, and we'll throw a little thing on there. Just like that. So that'll be our first target to the downside. The other thing you can do is take a trade kind of in that chop. So that's what this third option is. It's more of an advanced option, so if you're interested in trading that, you can go ahead and ask the Battle Box about it. It should be able to tell you kind of like what's going on through it. Again, not financial advice, and as you can see, the Battle Box is for educational purposes only. Different enemy fire zones. We kind of went through those already. It's just the above you kind of got the different 24-hour FRBP levels with the volume area high and the POC being below it. And then below we kind of got that 111.5 and also the 112.5 technically is right below it as well. Volatility to watch. So at 9 we got the jolts thing. So make sure you're kind of watching out. Really now until then. Now until like 9:15ish, we'll be kind of watching for that. And then at 10 o'clock we got Trump speaking, so just be a little bit cautious of that, because you never know, Trump could say something in a speech or whatever and it will throw the market into craziness. So be mindful of that, I guess, as it's happening. And then just make sure you're trading the plan. You've got that 15-minute close, get that retest, we'll take it upwards, or we do the opposite and we'll take it downwards. So just trade the way that the Battle Box is designed to be traded. should be good for today. Excuse me. But yeah, hope you all have a good day. If you're interested in checking out that recap, it is coming out at 10. So either watch our, make sure you click the notification bell here on YouTube, or you can make sure you subscribe to us on X, and you should get a notification on there as well about when that video comes out. Other than that, happy trading to y'all, and hopefully y'all have a good day. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 8 a.m. Thanks for watching.